one who can control all the elements and bring peace to our world.
I will stop them.
You may already be too late.
Man, I think M. Night Shyamalan took the wind out of y'all. You look depressed right now.
It is depressing. You know what? I hope this is the last Airbender. That's all I'm saying. They don't want it to be at the end. They're like, but there is another type of cliffhanger, and you're like, who gives a shit? I'm leaving.
Oh, is that another one of these movies where it's based on a fantasy series before they've been based on books, but this is from a television show?
This is from a whole television show with a full season of episodes, and this is Cliff's Notes of the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
And it's one of those movies where they are so confident that they've created the next Harry Potter that they got to have a cliffhanger at the end.
Chapter 1 of 4.
Yeah. Which they literally do. Yeah, book 1.
This is book 1, Water. Which, like with the TV series, it's like, hey, you got a TV series greenlit, you can do that. But ask the people who made the Golden Compass how that worked out.
You know what they needed? They needed a book 1 script.
Yeah,
that's what they needed.
Well, the thing is, this is based on a cartoon that I got to say, right after Batman and the Justice League animated series, this is my absolute favorite cartoon series ever because it's exciting, it's written well, it's acted well,
it's innovative.
It's innovative, and it's so steeped in Asian mythology. And here, he's made a movie that's none of those things.
I'm sorry they took a dump on what you love, dude.
Dude, even compared to M. Night's previous films, this is terrible.
When that fool doesn't have a twist, he doesn't know what to do.
I just don't think he cared. This is the first film that wasn't really an M. Night film.
It really wasn't. Like his trademarks. The thing you can say that are positive about him is like, okay, look, he knows how to set up shots. He works well with actors. He can get good performances out of them. None of that here.
No.
The effects, they might be okay CG effects, but there's no heart to them. They don't get you excited at all.
Not at all. This is probably like one of the most dullest action. It at least was sold to me in the trailer as an action film.
Right.
This is probably by far the most dullest action film I've seen in a long time. Not since Missing in Action 2.
I mean, well, the thing is, it's like, okay, when you set up a character to use a special power, water bending, air bending, whatever, there's a rule that they have to keep constantly doing things that tops the last thing. Otherwise, you don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's just boring.
And he never did that. And probably the worst thing is that the acting is just so subpar. It's like when you watch the first Harry Potter movie and you go like, well, it looks great. He's got a lot of things here, but these kids need a lot more rehearsal.
This movie is probably about the equivalent to The Phantom Menace and the fact that there's no real sense of a threat.
It's because they have no passion, so you don't feel a sense of urgency.
Well, yeah, like I said, he looked at the script and said, there's no twist to this. I don't give a fuck.
No, I don't know what to do. That's
I don't
weakness.
know what I do with this
kryptonite.
And you said The Phantom Menace. I thought the same thing, but for different reasons. Because that kid playing the Avatar reminded me of Jake Lloyd.
Yeah,
totally reminded me of Jake Lloyd with his performance.
The story here is that Noah Ringer is that kid, and so from what I get, at least from like the cartoon, because I've only seen a couple episodes of the cartoon, but and reading the description here on the computer, but he's a young sorcerer, right? And he has to stop like this nation of fire people from like enslaving the band Earth, Wind and Fire. Or something like that.
I wish that had been it.
That would have been a lot cooler.
Serpentine. No, but so I mean, he controls the elements.
Well, I mean, it's basically like this. Like if you took the ancient Asian cultures were broken down into 4 tribes that worship a different element, earth, wind, fire, and air. And he was from the air benders, and he's sort of picked like the Dalai Lama, like, hey, you're going to be the new Avatar, somebody who's powerful enough to control all these.
Yeah, who's reincarnated from previous ones, and they do just like the Dalai Lama. He has to pick out a series of objects to know that's the reincarnated soul, and that's the guy who becomes the all-powerful major domo of peace who can do everything. Basically,
Keanu Reeves.
The guy, he is the nuclear weapon of this world.
Yeah.
That nobody does shit because they know that he's going to fuck them up if they do. Or he could anyway.
And his job will be to keep the balance.
Yeah.
But with great power comes super responsibility.
Okay, so on the playground, nobody's taking his milk money then.
Right. Well, the problem is that he decided to rrun away from his responsibility, and he ended up in ways the movie doesn't even get into, doesn't even discuss.
He goes Captain America.
He goes Captain America.
100 years.
Are you serious?
Yes. Comes back, and the fire people have just gotten uppity. See, so they go out and they have just taken over almost everything.
What is this?
Anyway, Fire Nation is here.
they're a bunch of dicks because they even kill all the airbenders they kill them all, which is why the movie The Last Airbender, because he's actually even the last guy who can do the wind thing. So at some point he's gonna have to get up to some fucking.
Pretty much, yeah. So it's a journey of him to like restore the balance. He's got to learn all the other disciplines because he took off and got frozen before somebody was able to teach him all the other.
Can I ask you how he got frozen? Did they not explain that?
That's what I'm saying. They never. They don't. I mean, I think they did in the cartoon.
Yeah,
but in here, like so many things, they just go, "Look, trust us. It's just how it happens. Okay, we got to move on."
We're saving that for the second movie, which will surely get made.
It's hard to tell who they're making the movie for because sometimes it seems like, we're making this for the fans. Because they know what happened, but then sometimes no, we're making it for the people who don't know to educate them, and it can't make up its mind. So it ends up not being satisfying to either group.
Yeah, no, they turned it into a film for dummies as far as Avatar.
They turned it into a project for the animators to just work out some of their CG things they wanted to do, but that's it. That there's like, so what? There's nothing else there.
They're not spectacular.
No, they're not. And even the martial arts sequences. I mean, there's martial arts all through this film. And I have never seen a martial arts film where it was as boring as this. It was like watching like real martial arts at like a mall karate thing with a bunch of 8-year-olds. It was like that. I mean, it was that level of bad and tedious and slow and wow.
I was waiting for that kid to, like, at some point at the end of the film, like, put on makeup and, that crazy dress and become like a geisha girl. Yeah, like, because that's what they're doing. It looks like they're doing geisha moves back and forth, and there's long scenes where the camera's, like, circling them, and it seems to go on forever. And you're like, well, what does this have to do with anything, and why should I care? What the fuck is going on in this movie?
Not to mention the action scenes that do the zoom into the effects. Like, oh, wait, we're going to show you, like, a thing going on here with a water spell. And so they're like, oh, wait, we got to zoom in real quick. Wasn't that cool? Okay, we're going to zoom back out again.
And it's not cool
around.
at all.
And there's another thing over here.
And the sad thing is that M. Night had plenty to look at as far as reference, as far as even the action sequences, which the action sequences are completely fucking boring, completely forgettable, where the cartoon, you watch that cartoon and the action scenes are like, they make you scream, wow, you can't wait to, you're like, oh, this is going to look great if somebody filmed this with like real people live with great effects.
Not if it's in
Not at all, no.
Well, the cartoon has almost a Miyazaki-like feel to those sequences. There's something about it. It has that sort of Japanese quaintness to it that really works, but none of that gets across in this film.
You know what he contributed the most to this? Is that he replaced what should have been Asian actors with white actors and a lot of Indian actors.
Yeah,
most of the Fire Nation Indian.
Yeah, because I know like one of the actors in here is Jackson Rathbone, who's also coming out in Twilight this weekend too. So,
but even then, it's like you look at like the extras, and a lot of times they're just regular looking white people. I mean, there'll be soldiers, and they're like 14-year-old white kids, and you're like, why are you? I don't understand. And like one thing I thought was funny. All right, so the Blue Tribes, that the two ostensibly main characters, even though they do nothing except stand there and go, wow, are from they are a bunch of Eskimos. You look around and they're like, wow, they are Eskimos, like they should be. They live way up in the, fucking Antarctic, except for the two main kids and their mom. Yeah. That's it. They're white as can be.
Even their grandmother is an Eskimo, and they aren't.
I know. It's like you talk about a film not wanting to offend anybody, but doing that at the same time by trying to make it multicultural. You're like, you know what? I miss the old days.
You know what I love to see? I love to see some of the Asian people and they're replaced with actual black people. You see dudes with, like, one dude's played by Snoop Dogg.
Well, you know what? They did that.
There's not a black person inside here, I'm afraid.
I wish they had me.
Maybe that's what. No. There were the Asians who were the Earthbenders, right? Mm-hmm. So that whole crew was indeed Asian, right. And you're like, okay, fair enough. There are some Asians in
there. You know what? They should have put Snoop Dogg in. He's like, I'm controlling earth and fire.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, if he was Avatar, that would have made sense.
They should have. You know what?
Now for the win.
Yeah, I know. Oh fuck! You know what? The way y'all talking, they actually should have put real avatars in there from James Cameron's movie. It's like this walking blue cat people. It's like, where the fuck they came from?
It couldn't have hurt.
It couldn't have been any like more chaotic than this movie already is. It's just like, all right, we're gonna drop you in the middle of some other totally chaotic nonsense that's going on over here.
That should have been the twist. And now for the twist, Snoop Dogg, ladies and gentlemen.
Watch me bend this shit.
That M. Night didn't do a cameo here. Even he didn't want to be in this movie.
He probably did. He probably said, cut that shit out. I don't want to be seen in this. No, I mean, it's funny because you mentioned that he's Indian. So I can see him trying to put other Indian
Well,
people
I'm
in
sure
there.
he said like, "Hey, India's part of Asia. Why can't we be?"
Well,
in
that's
there?
true.
And I don't have a problem with that.
And
I don't.
like one of the guys from
Dev Patel.
Dev Patel from Slumdog Millionaire is in
Yeah,
this.
and Cliff Curtis, who plays every race.
But Cliff Curtis is a Kiwi. He can.
I know.
He's played everything. from Mexicans
Middle Eastern.
to Martians. I think. like when the next movie you see Earthlings landing on Mars, Cliff Curtis gonna be waiting on you.
I think he played a tree at some point.
Cliff Curtis.
He has done everything.
Yeah, when he was in middle school. It's Your Life, Charlie Brown. He was the truth.
Yeah, he played Snoopy. I think at one point.
They were like, man, you were great.
That wasn't CG and Garfield. That was Cliff Curtis. But no, man, this is really sad to hear this because I don't know anything about even the TV show. All I know is I've seen about 2 episodes, and I'm like, man, this looks amazing. It looks amazing.
Well, another thing that's really sorely missing is that the TV show has a lot of humor.
Mm-hmm.
You have the character Sulka, who's one of the main 3 characters, and he's that kind of comic relief.
And that's
where-
the character of Jackson Rathbone. He was the guy that played like the Civil War guy in
that's him?
in Twilight. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, in the series, he's a comic relief, but he's actually he's an effective comic relief. Like when he needs to be a warrior, he can. You watch him grow as a warrior, and his jokes are genuinely funny. And this kid just has no humor whatsoever in this movie.
Really.
Well, he has no character.
There's
None
no
of those-
humor in this movie
Yeah.
at all.
Nobody, there are no characters at all.
not.
I mean, the closest is, I guess it's Dev Patel, who plays the Firebender,
Yeah, Prince Zuko.
son of the exiled son of the Fire King, who is trying to redeem himself by capturing the Avatar personally. And that's, only because they actually bothered to give him a tiny bit of backstory. I mean, he's not likable, but, at least you know something about him.
He overacts the entire thing. Everything is.
Yeah. Well, the thing
Which,
is,
to be fair, they
Come here.
to be fair,
What
they
do you know about the prince?
they pretty much did the same thing with that character in the cartoon. Though.
well, the thing is that
the character grows in the cartoon.
Well, the thing is that his character, it seems like, he is the only real character because they really focus a lot on him. The unfortunate thing is they keep reminding you what happened to him constantly, like over and
What
over
did
and
happen to
over.
him?
Just that
he
he's-
basically pissed off his dad.
Yeah,
he was banished.
Yeah, his dad is a dick, super dick, and kicked him out of the kingdom, and
burned
everybody
his face
else
before he did it.
Yeah, everybody else fucks with him all the time, except for his uncle, who's like the kindly old uncle, just like he is in the cartoon. Except in the cartoon, he's
the same
also
way he helped Tony Stark out of that cave.
Yeah.
he helps his kid along.
except also and he's supposed to be more comic relief in the
Yes.
cartoon.
And which
Here
character-
he's not
which-
funny.
Which
You're just
actor
like,
is this?
Oh, I
I
don't know
don't
the
know.
actor's name.
Older guy.
Yeah, he's in Iron Man 1. That's about all I know.
Yeah.
What's the name of the character in the movie?
Oh, Uncle Iroh.
Yeah.
Sean Taub.
Okay.
Oh, I thought he had a crazier name.
But
Shibudge Hubba Hubba.
it's not even as much as saying there's some development for him. That's not saying anything good about it.
Yeah.
It just makes it that much more blatant how none at all there is for anybody else here.
Especially the main actor, the Avatar,
Yeah.
the guy you're supposed to be carrying him.
Well, even-
Yeah, little Noah Ranga.
Yeah.
The guy who you're supposed to be, going along with and experiencing his journey. You don't get a sense of none of that because. Oh, and the other thing is, this is probably like one of the worst edited movies I've seen in a while.
Wow,
to where it
yeah.
seems like I don't know if M. Night just shot way too much, but it seemed like they were just missing scenes blatantly. There were things that the actors were saying that it didn't make sense in the context of how the story was going because it felt like you missed something. Like there's a scene at the beginning. He's like, "Are you okay? You're not as angry as before." And he's like, "No, I'm okay. I've gotten over that." And you really don't know what they're talking about because you never saw that. And I'm just like, "What? Did somebody miss a reel? I don't get
Yeah,
it."
it felt like he turned in a 2.5 hour film, and they were like, "No, I don't think so."
It begs the question: is there anything positive about this movie?
Honestly, I can't think of one.
Yeah, and I was saying the same thing to myself for the last hour after the movie, going, "There's got to be something I liked about it." And I can't think of anything. It's actually changed my review. I mean, even the 3D is terrible.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
so
Like the
much.
one thing you might say, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it looks good. And like, no, it's that shitty 3D.
No, it's that
Yeah.
3D that was an after the fact type of thing when they do it and you're like, wow, it just looks like shit. Plus, you know how everything in 3D often makes everything so darker?
Yeah.
Well, this whole film is really dark, so much of it that you can't tell what the fuck is
Oh
going
well,
on.
only because
with a
the
lot
color
of it.
palette, you could see the color palette is like really a dark blue. So I was like watching it, I'm like, oh, they just made this movie look worse.
Well, you know what? That is one of the things that I noticed. The first thing I noticed when I found out that that the movie was The Last Airbender in the trailer, I like this looks nothing like the color palette from the animated show, which was a little brighter. and
It's
had
lighthearted.
a different color scheme. That's a damn shame when the 3D in the movie can't match a cartoon.
Oh, it not only doesn't match a cartoon, it pulls it down.
Yeah, it's
it does.
irritating. There are points I'm just like, this is giving me a headache. You know, just having to put in that little extra bit of effort to watch this in 3D like this. I just wanted to leave. I'm surprised at myself that I did not walk out.
I know you. I think you've been thinking about this because you came in. You're like, "Hey, everybody!" And the more you sat there, the more you're like, "I'm just
this
pissed."
movie
We
pissed
watching
me
you
off.
turn dark.
Right?
About 15-20 minutes into the movie, you are pretty much given the idea of what you're going to expect for the rest of the film, which is sad because I'm like, okay, this better pick up. They better do something really cool with these action scenes because the first one they showed me was so bad that it just didn't leave me any hope. And you know, the big climax, I guess the last climax looked pretty, but that was a big rip off of the director's cut of The Abyss. So I mean, it just.
So should I go get some mugs and serve a round of bullshit for him?
Shit, no.
No.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. This movie is making me turn to the dark side. I'm like, no, because this movie is a fuck you.
Wow.
This is not just some old bullshit. This is a fuck you to the studio. This is fuck you to M. Night. This is fuck you with everyone associated with this film. You took something that was really cool and you just destroyed it.
Damn.
I was just going to give it some old bullshit. I ain't angry. I'm just like, well, this is kind of what I thought it was going to be when it first got announced. I mean, there's no reason to make a live action version of a cartoon series that just ended 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That's idiotic to begin with. That's just a money grab. But yeah, I still, some old bullshit.
Yeah, I've only seen a few episodes like you, Corey, of the cartoon, but at least those made me go, oh wow, this is fucking badass. Where this movie just took the soul and everything that was interesting about that cartoon from the 2 episodes I saw, stripped it away. Yeah. There's no character, the editing was awful, and I didn't care, honestly. After the film, I could care less about their book 2 and book 3. You know, they can keep those books. So, no, I was so bored. I was waiting for Adam Sandler to introduce his own clan, the Fartbenders. Hey guys.
It has begun.